Namaste, welcome back to my channel Educate Youth. My name is Surya Bahadur and in today's class we will be learning about the priority scheduling algorithm. In the previous videos I have already explained about the FCFS scheduling algorithm, non-preemptive scheduling, non-preemptive SGF scheduling algorithm, preemptive SGF scheduling algorithm. Okay, so in those videos I have explained about the important terms that is required to learn about the scheduling algorithms, right? So the important terms like what is a program, what is a process, what is a scheduler, what is a CPU scheduler, what is a process scheduler, what do you mean by preemptive, what do you mean by non-preemptive, all those important terms I have already explained in my previous videos where I explained the FCFS scheduling algorithm, non-preemptive SGF scheduling algorithm and preemptive SGF scheduling algorithm. So if you haven't watched those videos, you can go back to my previous videos and learn about the scheduling algorithms along with the important terms that is required to learn the scheduling algorithm. Okay, so you can get all the details about all those important terms in those videos. Okay, so in this particular video I will explain directly the concept of the priority scheduling algorithm. Okay, so let us start the today's topic. Okay, priority scheduling algorithm. Okay, so you can see over here. So we are having how many processes? Process P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Okay, and the processes individual priority has been mentioned here. Okay, priority. Who is going to decide the priority? Priority will be decided by the operating system in terms of how much memory is available. Okay, so various internal factors are being involved to decide the priority of a particular process, right? So the priority of individual processes are being given over here. Okay, so what are the burst time or the execute time of the individual processes? Okay, so it is mentioned over here. So what is the arrival time of individual processes? Okay, process P1 arrives at 0 time, process P2 also arrives at 0 time, P3 6 time, P4 11 time, P5 at 12 time. Okay, so this is the process table, right? So let us implement our priority scheduling algorithm. Okay, so priority scheduling algorithm is a preemptive algorithm. Okay, preemptive. Preemptive. It is a preemptive scheduling. Okay, it's a preemptive scheduling. Preemptive means, okay, I have already explained about the preemptive and non-preemptive in my previous videos. Okay, so preemptive means what? Once a process acquires the processor, if any high priority process wants to execute in that processor, then the existing process which is executing in the processor and it is of low priority, it can be printed out. Okay, its execution, full execution has not completed. It can be printed out and be in the waiting state. And the high priority process can acquire the processor and get executed. That is the preemptive. Okay, so your priority scheduling algorithm is a preemptive scheduling algorithm, right? Okay, fine. So let us have, we are having the 5 processes. Okay, so let us implement our priority scheduling algorithm. Okay, so we are having the 5 processes. Okay, so as you can observe, and those 5 processes are in ready state to get executed in your processor, right? Now process P1. P1 is arriving at the processor at 0 time. Okay. So P2 is also arriving at 0 time. Okay. So these two processes are arriving into the processor at a time. Okay. Now, if process P1 and P2 is arriving to the processor at a time, then which process will be acquiring the processor? According to priority scheduling algorithm, the the highest priority process will be acquiring the processor. Are you understanding? So P1 and P2, right now at 0 time, P1 and P2 came to the processor, right? So P1 and P2, out of this P1 and P2, which is having the highest priority? Process P1. Process P1 is having the highest priority. So process P1 will be acquiring the processor. Okay? Process P1 will be acquiring the processor. So process P1 starts executing, right? Process P2 is in waiting, right? Process P2 is in waiting, right? So process P1 starts execution. So what is this execution time? Process P1 execution time is 4 unit of time or 4 nanosecond, right? So it starts executing, it covers 1 unit of time, right? So when it covers 1 unit of time, again the it will be checked that any other process is entering the processor or not. Okay? So at 1 unit of time, any other process is entering into the processor? No. 0, 0, 6. At 6 unit time, another process is entering. At 11 unit of time, another process is entering. At 12 unit of time, another process is entering. At 1 unit of time, no process is entering. So P1 continues its execution in the processor, right? As it is a highest priority process, right? At 2 unit of time, no process entering the processor. At 3 unit of time, no process enters into the processor, right? At 4 unit of time, no process enters into the processor, right? Only P2 is waiting. P2 has already entered, right? Understanding? So at 4 unit of time, our process P1 completes its execution because it takes 4 unit of time to complete its execution. So P1 has completed, right? Now, when P1 completes, it prints out, it is coming out of the processor. Now processor is vacant. Now which process will acquire the processor? Only one process is there because it has already entered at 0 time only, right? Because P1 and P2 entered at a time. As P1 was the highest priority process, P1 entered the processor and executed. P2 is the next priority process, right? So right now P2 will enter into the processor for execution. So it starts its execution at 4 unit of time, right? So what is the total execution time for process P2? 3 unit of time, right? So at 5 unit, it starts at 4. If 5 unit, 1 unit is completed, 2 unit is completed, 3 unit is completed. Okay? That means 5, 6, 7. Up to 7, you can observe again here. At the 6 unit of time, P3 enters into the processor, right? At the 6, when process P2 has completed 2 units, it takes 3 unit of time to complete the P2, right? So when P2 is executing, its when P2 is executing at the when 2 unit has been completed of P2, at the 6 unit of time, P3 enters. Okay? P3 enters into the processor and it is in waiting right now. Okay? So try to understand. So at the 6th unit, the arrival time of P3. Okay? So at the 6th only, the P3 has entered. Right now P2 will be stopped right now. Okay? Now, as P3 has entered, the priority will be checked now. Right? The priority will be checked. Priority will be checked in between which processes? P2 and P3. P1 has already completed. Okay? So only two processes are available in the processor to check the priority. Other processes P4, P5 has not yet entered. Right? So now the priority will be checked between P2 and P3. P2 is inside the processor, it has completed 2 units of time P3 just entered, right, at the 6th unit of time. Now, what is the priority of P2? What is the priority of P2? Priority of P2 is 2, but priority of P3 is 1. So who is having the highest priority? Process P3 is having the highest priority, then P2. Okay, right, are you understanding? So now the P2 which is executing inside the processor, and it has already completed 2 units of its execution. P2 takes 3 units of execution. 2 unit has been already completed. When 2 unit will be completed, the P3 has entered and it has been observed that P3 is having the highest priority. So P2 will be printed out and P3 will acquire the processor. Understood? According to the priority. So P2 at the 6th unit of time, P2 will be printed. Printed out at the 6th unit of time. And right now, P3 will be acquiring the processor at the 6th unit of time. Okay, P3 is acquiring the processor. Now P2, how many units of time it has completed? 2 units completed, 1 is still left. Okay, P2. 2 is completed, still 1 is left for its execution. Understanding? Right now. Okay, at the 6th unit of time, P3 has entered. Right? Now, P3 starts executing. So, what is the total execution time for P3? 7 unit of time. Right? So, P3 starts execution at 6, 7, 1 unit completed, 8, 2 unit completed, 9, 3 unit completed, 10, 4 unit completed, 11, 5 unit completed. Its execution time is 7 unit. At 11, 5 unit is completed. And just observe that at 11 time, one more process is entering into the processor. Okay? That means process P4 is entering into the processor. T3 has completed how many units? 6 to 11. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 unit completed out of 7. Still 2 is left at the 11 unit of time. At 11 unit of time, another process is entering. P4. Right now, again, the priority of the process will be checked. Okay? Which process is having the highest priority? That will be acquiring the processor. The lower priority process will be exiting out from the processor. Okay, understanding? So at 11 unit of time, right now which process is having the highest priority? It will be checked in the waiting list. Okay, in the waiting list. Okay, so who are in waiting list? P4, P3, P2 at the 11 unit of time. Okay, these three processes are in waiting. Okay, P3 is executing at present up to 11. It has completed. Okay, P4 now, P2, P3. Now the three processes priority will be checked out. Okay, P2 is having priority 2. P3 priority is 1. P4 priority is 3. So as P3 is having the highest priority, P3 continues its execution. Understanding the point? Okay. So P3 continues the execution. So at 11 point of time, it has already completed 7. It has already completed how many units? 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at 12, P3 completes 6 units of time. Okay. So as P3 was the highest priority, it is continuing. Understanding or not? Okay. So at 12, 6 unit has been completed of P3. Still 1 unit is left out. Right? So at 12 time, observe that one more process is entering into the processor. Which process? P5 is entering. P5 is entering. So right now again in the 12 time the priority of the processes will be checked in the waiting list. Okay? Who is having the highest priority? Okay? P3 is executing, still 1 unit is left. P2 has already printed out previously and it is in waiting. P4 entered already, P5 entered already, right? So whose priority is more? P2. P2 priority is 2. P3 which is executing, priority is 1. P4 priority is 3 and P5 which is recently entered is having the priority 2. Right now, which process will be executing? Having the highest priority. Which process is having the highest priority? This one only, P3 only. P5 which has entered is having the 2 priority, that is second priority. So it is the lowest priority. Highest priority is P3 only, which is executing in the processor. Okay, so P3 will continue and it will complete its execution. Right? So P3 at the 13th time it has completed the 7 unit of time. Okay? At 13 here P3 completed its execution. Understood? At P3 completes its execution. Understood? Okay. Now P3 has completed its execution. Now which are the left out processes? P2, P4 and P5, and these three processes have already entered into the processor, right? And no other processes are outside the processor. Already they have entered into the processor and they are scheduled in the waiting list. Okay. At time 13, right now whose priority is more? That will be checked and that process will entering into the processor for execution. Okay. So P3 has already printed out because it has already completed its 7 unit of time. Okay. So it has already completed, right? So now out of process P2, P4 and P5, which process is having the highest priority? That will be checked out. Okay. P2. P2 is having the priority 2, P4 is having the priority 3 and P5 is having the priority 2. Okay. See, observe here right now. P5 is having the priority 2, P2 is also having the priority 2 and P4 is having the priority 3. Other processes has completed. P1 and P3 has completed their execution, right? So now P1, P4 and P5. So out of these three processes, two processes is having the highest priority, that is P5 and P2. So out of P5 and P2, okay, out of P5 and P2, which process will be acquiring the processor right now? So that is the question, right? So here what happens that if both the processes are having the equal priority, then it will follow the FCFS rule, FCFS scheduling. Okay, I have already covered the FCFS, right? So you are aware of FCFS, right? So if both the process is having the equal priority, then it will follow the FCFS. Remember that FCFS, first come first serve. So which process has come first into the processor, that process will be having the highest priority. Okay. Out of process P2 and P5, which process has come first to the processor? Obviously process P2 has come first to the processor, right? Because it has arrived at 0 time. P5 has arrived at 12 time. So we will get the priority. Priority will be got by the first come, first served. So it has come first, so it will be served first. Understood? Okay. So right now P2 will be getting the processor for execution, right? So now observe that P2 has already completed its 2 units of time already completed here. only 1 unit of P2 is left out. Understanding? Only 1 unit of time is left out for P2. So P2 will be starting executing at the 13 and it will be completing its execution at 14. Okay, so P2 has completed its execution. It has taken 1 unit. Total 3 units, 2 units completed here, 1 unit completed here. Right? Understood? Okay, right now our P2 is also completed. Right? Now P4 and P5. Now P4 and P5 again the priority will be checked. So who is having the highest priority between P4 and P5? P5 is having 2, P4 is having 3. So who is having the highest priority? Obviously P5 is having the highest priority. So right now P5 will be entering and at 14 time P5 will be entering and start executing. Right? So what is its total execution time? 2 units. So it will be taking 14, 15, at 16 the P5 will complete its execution. Okay? It will complete its execution. Okay? So P5 has completed, right? So P1 completed, P2 completed, P3 is also completed, P5 is also completed, right? So right now which process is left out? The process P4. Okay? So right now the process P4 will be entering into the processor for execution. So how much time it is taking? 4 unit of time. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. At 20 the full program gets executed. Full processes, all the 5 processes will be getting executed fully. Okay? So understood? Fine. Right now, waiting time. Waiting time. Process waiting. So we are having how many process? 5 process. Process P1, process P2, process P3, process P4, process P5. Okay? Right now, what is the waiting time for process P1? What is the waiting time for process P1? Process P1 starts from here. Okay? And it completes here. At one instance it has completed. Right? So what is the waiting time for process P1? It has entered into the processor, got the processor, executed fully. So no waiting for process P1. Right? Understanding? So process P1 is 0. As it has arrived also at 0 time. So 0 minus 0, 0. Okay? Next. Process P2. What is the waiting time for process P2? Process P2 started its execution at 4 unit of time. Okay? At what time it has arrived? At 0. At 0 arrived, but waited up to 4. Starting is 4, right? It waited up to 4. So arrived at 0. Right? So 4 minus 0 is equal to 4. Still P2 has not completed its execution. At 6 it has completed only, at 6 it has only completed only 2 units. 4, 5, 6. Still 1 unit is left. And it is starting at here, 13. Okay? So in here it has waited for 4. 2 units completed at 6. Again starting at 13. So from 6 to 13 it is waiting. So 13 minus 6, how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 unit of time. Again the P2 has waited to complete the remaining 1 unit of execution. Okay? So how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? 4 plus 7. 11 unit of time P2 has waited, right? Now P3, what is the waiting time of P3? P3 started its execution over here, right? So started its execution over here, and it has completed its execution at one instance only. Okay, so what is the waiting time? 1. What is the waiting time for P3? Okay, so it has started at 6. P3 arrived at 6 only. So when it arrived, it got the processor and executed. Okay, starting is 6 and it has executed fully. Okay, P3 has executed fully, right? So right now started at 6, arrives at 6, 6 minus 6 equal to 0. So 0 waiting for process P3. Understood? Now process P4. So what is the waiting time for process P4? Process P4 is starting execution at time 16. Okay, time 16. What is its arrival time? P4 arrived at time 11. So it has started executing at 16. So what is the waiting time for P4? 16 minus 11. 5. It has waited for 5 unit of time. Okay, understood? So what is the waiting time for process P5? So P5 entered at time 14. It has entered at time 14, but its arrival time is 12. So 14 minus 12. So how much? 2 unit of time it has waited. Okay. So right now, what is the average waiting time? Average waiting time. So what is the average waiting time? 0 plus 11, 0 plus 11 plus 0 plus 5 plus 2. Whole divided by how many processes? 5. Okay. Now calculate 16, 17, 18. Okay. 11, 5, 16, 17, 18. 18 by 5. So 5, 3, 15, 5, 6, 30 unit of time. Okay. So total average waiting time for all the processes is 3.6. Okay. Total 3.6 unit of time for all the average waiting time for all the processes. Okay. So this is how your priority scheduling algorithm actually works. Okay. So I hope you understood the priority scheduling algorithm. In this class I have completed the preemptive priority scheduling algorithm. Okay. So in the next class I will cover here very important round robin scheduling algorithm. Okay, so I have already covered here other process scheduling algorithms like FCFS scheduling algorithm, your preemptive shortest job first scheduling algorithm, non-preemptive shortest job first scheduling algorithm. In today's class I covered the priority scheduling algorithm. In the next class I will cover the round robin scheduling algorithm. Okay, so if you haven't watched my previous videos where I have covered the FCFS and XJF scheduling algorithm, you can move back to my previous videos and you can learn it properly. Okay, so these scheduling algorithms are very important in terms of your competitive examinations. So it is being asked repeatedly in your BTech level courses where you have the operating system as your subject, and it is being asked in your competitive examinations like your GATE level competitive examination. Okay, so you need to understand, learn the basics. Okay, so if you have learned the basics, you can give any kind of examples. but the basics should be strong. Okay, so this is the priority. This is how the priority algorithm actually works. This is the FCFS scheduling. This is how it actually works. So if you have understood the basic with any kind of example, you can proceed and you can solve it. Okay, and you can implement it also by using your high level languages like as it is a operating system, right? This process scheduling algorithms has been already is there in your operating system, like you are using the Windows operating system, right? So your Windows various versions of Windows operating system, you will be having all those process scheduling